Today, we're going to be learning all about how to help your students better demonstrate their thinking visually as we connect with Classkick and dig into all things visualization of learning. Hey, welcome to the EdTech Unpack podcast, where we inspire and equip educators to create meaningful learning experiences, highlighting a thoughtful approach to the integration of technology. I'm Aaron Long.
And I'm Desmond Suarez, and we are passionate about helping educators learn how to better use technology to engage their students.
All right, Desmond, super excited today. We've been trying to put this one together for almost a full year.
It's embarrassing how long it took us.
It is a little bit. Very excited to welcome Savannah Creasman to the show today. Savannah has a pretty good life, if you ask me, but amongst other things, she is a Classkick coach. She runs a Mamas in EdTech podcast, and you can find her on Instagram at Savvy EdTech Mamas. Savannah, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so my name is Savannah. My favorite title is mom. I am a wife. I have two kiddos. I have a 3.5-year-old boy and an 8-month-old little girl. I've taught for 8 years. Elementary is kind of my specialty, 1st and 2nd grade. I like to say I'm the primary teacher of all the littles. And, right now, as I told you, my favorite title is mom. I've been staying at home, and first of all, it's such a blessing, but I didn't realize the value of it until I've been at home. Teaching is hard, and it is my favorite thing, one of my favorite things too. And I never thought I would be a stay-at-home mom. I love teaching. I love education and learning about it. And I love learning about EdTech. I feel like my coworkers are like, okay, Savannah, we're not trying another new tool. So I still keep in touch with them too, and love learning about all things education and using those EdTech tools in the church as well, or maybe for homeschooling when my son gets to be old enough. I've wanted to do some letters with him, but I don't know if he has the attention span yet. Anyways, that's a little about me.
Well, that's awesome. You know, when my wife was a young mom and we were just kind of starting out, we were really blessed that she was able to also stay home for the first 5 years or so of our kids' lives. And, you know, the only regret we might have is that she didn't stay home a little longer. It was such a blessing. So really happy to hear that's like your leading resume item that you're submitting as mom. So that's what it should be. Congratulations. Really happy that that's not just a high priority, but a real blessing to you. So thanks again for being here, Savannah. We're really excited to see what you have for us. Have no doubt this is going to be a very informative lesson. A little tiny bit of backstory here. We met Savannah at ISTE last summer in the summer of 2025. And I have, again, been trying a whole year to put this show together. And
it's
what's
our
ironic
fault,
is
not her fault. Just so we know they put the blame in the right place.
That's right. But we're like a week away from ISTE 2026, where we'll get to see you again in person, and we'll swing by the booth and definitely connect there. So, hey, if we're able to pull that off, cutaway footage right here of us interacting at the booth would be awesome, right? So, hey, we're super excited, though, and we like to kick off our show with a get-to-know-you question. Today, here it is, Savannah, you can lead it. As a teacher, okay, I know you're not in the classroom right now, but a teacher at heart, what do you most look forward to summer for?
Okay, well, of course, spending time with family, but the big one, no Sunday scaries. When I heard about this question, I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to say. Sunday nights, man, when you're a teacher, it's just like, do I have enough food for lunches? Do I have lesson plans? Like, is everything ready to go? Is the kids packed for daycare? So it's just all these things that I don't have to worry about. And when I'm in the summertime, just kind of enjoy the Sunday and get to going for Monday.
So true. How about you, Desmond?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. That's a good answer, Savannah. I was trying to figure out. I do love teaching, and I'm not one who. I feel bad for the teachers that are like, and sorry if this is you listening, but who just are like, summer's the only hope. Like, I can't wait until it happens. I miss my students so bad when summer starts. But I also love the extra time I get to have with my kids and then to do special projects because I do some, like more podcasting, and we get to go to ISTE and I do some curriculum work. And so to do all that stuff, and then be full-time dad in the summer is my favorite part.
That's awesome. And that's how you know you're a teacher at heart too, because you never stop learning.
I don't. I can't stand not learning.
All right. Well, I actually have two answers. Okay, but I'll be quick. So number one, road trips. If a summer doesn't have a good road trip, it's a massive fail in my mind. Okay, so that's been big in our family. But number two, I love going to coffee shops, and I love when I can go to a coffee shop with no time constraints, because it's like, it's not the coffee for me. It's like, that's the environment, but it's like just the ability to sit and be creative and like step back and say, all right, what big problems am I going to solve for myself this year? And then just kind of like brainstorm. So I think it's that whole experience of just kind of floating in and out of a coffee shop here and there and being able to solve the big problems for the year coming up and process a bit. I love doing that. My wife and I both. So it's something I always look forward to.
Before we get into actually talking about Classkick, I think it's valuable for us to have a little discussion about visualized thinking, because that is, as I understand, Classkick. And so you guys understand, Aaron and I have both seen demos of Classkick, and we talked to Savannah last year at ISTE and had the massive screen where they're showing us how it worked, but we haven't had the privilege of using it ourselves in the classroom. But we do understand the concept of visualized thinking, and that's the main emphasis and push and purpose, as I understand it, of Classkick. So just in general, what does visualized thinking mean, and why is it valuable?
Yeah, so visualized thinking. For me, it's being able to see kind of what's going on in students' brains like right away rather than at the end. So the best thing I think is sometimes when you're given an assessment and you see the results after, like you don't know what they were thinking before, and it's kind of too late to address some issues. So with Classkick, I'm able to see kind of in the moment, in real time, what's going on and be able to give that feedback.
Are there examples, like if a teacher isn't or doesn't have access to Classkick, and we'll talk about how they can get access later, but in a classroom, other than like without technology, what are some ways that a teacher can visualize thinking? Because even with Classkick, it's probably good to have them off the screen sometimes and visualize thinking.
Oh, yes, for sure. I love utilizing small groups and stations, and then I can have students working at other stations with each other, but then I have a small group with me. And I don't know if that's more of an elementary thing or if middle and high school do that as well.
It's good for high school. They should. Yeah. We should do it.
Yeah. Just being able to have that small group and, depending on the subject area, I may group them by ability level, or I may not do that. That way other kids can help each other that are at different levels. But small groups is my go-to there without technology.
Yeah, I would jump into that. I love the idea of, so I've got a teacher here at Burton Academy. By the way, coming to you today from the Burton Academy field house. So if it looks a little different on my end, power's out in the studio. They're replacing panels. So I'm here, and this is actually kind of my office on the daily. So I'm enjoying coming to you from my actual office. But we have a teacher here who he calls them, see if you guys can decode this, vertical non-permanent writing surfaces.
I got you.
Okay. He's come to me with this whiteboard idea, right? But it's very much like where I came from in math as a junior high math teacher for years. My classroom that I remodeled over the course of about 3 years had whiteboards all the way around the room. I did the Genius Bar thing, kind of ripped that from Apple, and we had little learning stations with an Apple TV and a TV at each one. So you could fit about 4 or 5 students at each one. And so we would do a lot of dynamic regrouping to these, and the student could mirror their iPad. But every station also had a whiteboard surface, a small one, so they could jump up and, whether it's group notes or it's me coming by and just real quick showing how to do something. And then we also implemented whiteboard tables. And I had also at the front of the room 3 glass panels I could write on. So there were tons of non-permanent, vertical and horizontal writing surfaces throughout the room. So you talk about, low-tech option. For me, I love, just dry erase surfaces everywhere. We would do a lot of group note taking, so they would draw pictures on the tables, and then the turn in was just take a picture and turn in the picture of your notes. So just kind of that crossover between technology and low tech. I love that kind of interactive space.
Love it. Did you have one of those, what is it, the overhead projectors that you ride on? I had some in high school, but
Oh yeah. So not so much me. My wife still has one. In fact, we love Elmos here. Desmond and I are pretty big fans of Elmos. And so
Document
she had one.
cameras.
Yeah, document cameras. There we go. So
I don't know. Do you guys have some of these in your classroom?
oh yeah.
The large sticky notes, post-it notes. I use it a few times a year. I feel like I forget to use it other times a year, but to
Good
have
old
the students,
anchor chart.
yeah, get into a group and brainstorm or mind map or illustrate all over that thing is useful. And then they can do it on vertically, like Aaron was talking about, or on the desks, anywhere. And then you can hang them and keep them visualized for a while. Very good.
And by the way, Elmo's great. I meant IPEVO though when I'm talking specifically about preference of brand.
I was surprised.
Big fan of IPEVO. Sorry.
All right.
No, I was thinking, what is that thing called? Like a transparency? It's like transparent.
Oh man, you're going way back.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it's called.
I mean, overhead projector.
Overhead projector. You nailed it. Yeah.
There's your little whiteboard.
As we're trying to clear out, there's one that's been sitting in a corner for a while because our building's getting very full, so we're having to get rid of stuff. And we're trying to figure out, I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't have a reason to keep it.
I actually, my first teaching position, I had one. So I definitely used one of those back in the day. So, all right. Well, hey, this has been great. But you don't have anything else for us, Desmond? You ready to go?
I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Let's unpack the tech.
All right. So, Savannah, can you tell everyone what Classkick even is? We've mentioned it. We know you represent Classkick, but tell us what it is.
Yeah, so Classkick, a lot of people think, is just an assignment creation tool where you make an assignment and have students do it. And it can be that if that's how you want to use it and that's what you want it to be. But really, it's kind of an interactive learning platform that allows you to communicate with your students in real time. And you can use any curriculum material for this to create your work or assignment. You can upload PDFs, you can make your own, you can even check out the assignment library with pre-made assignments for you. But it really allows you to give some written feedback or even verbal feedback to students as they're working.
It's awesome. We're super excited to see this live. Okay, so that was a great verbal overview. Savannah, if you're ready here, we can dive in, but maybe talk us through how do you prepare a lesson plan or a lesson in Classkick, and maybe touch on things like Google Drive integration and preparing a lesson.
Yeah, I love that. I think a big thing with EdTech, a lot of people want to start with the tech and think, hey, what can I do with it? But actually, I think you need to look at your lesson and your standards and go from there. And so you might think, oh, Classkick's not for me. Well, the best thing about Classkick is you need to know your curriculum and your content before you can use it. And so that's what makes it one awesome tool. But it's for all ages too, which is my favorite thing as a primary teacher. But it's great for all ages. And I think we'll talk about that again in a minute. But back to planning. So when I plan, I like to think, okay, how do I want students to show their learning? And also, what's some different ways they could show their learning? Because not all students display what they're learning in different ways and how they know it. So I might have students record the beginning, middle, end of a story instead of typing it. That way, they don't have to stress about the whole writing process. They can just say what their thoughts are. When I'm planning, I want to know if I want something auto-graded or not. Is this something that could be multiple choice? And then Classkick can auto-grade that for me. I often use things from my curriculum, and that's going to help me, teach my curriculum to fidelity by using those things that are already given to me. It also makes my life easier. Oh, and yes, so you can upload a PDF. So if that's something from your curriculum or something you get off Teachers Pay Teachers, or even if you use AI to create it, you can upload it and tweak it for your use. I will just briefly mention Classkick is coming out with a bunch of AI tools and AI features that's really awesome. And they should all be available by this back to school season. So after ISTE, and you'll get to see some of that at ISTE as well.
We'll try to capture that. Maybe we can sneak it in here too.
Yes, yes. There's AI Create, where you can create an assignment. You can put in a rubric, put in standards, and it will help make an assignment for you. There's Student Helper, which is so cool. Basically, the student is working and they can like press the helper button, and I believe the teacher has to turn it on if they want students to be able to use that or not. And it's not going to give them the answer, but it's going to give them like leading questions or maybe a visual to help them solve it, which I think is so cool. And I'm really pushing for some audio feedback there for some kids if they're struggling readers, or even like ESL learners or ELL, whatever you want to call it, like anybody that might need extra support. So they have one thing, another thing with Classkick, the engineers are super, super friendly, and they've like met a lot of us coaches, and they accept our feedback, which is awesome. And that's when I'm always like, okay, audio. The AI features are just super impressive. It blows my mind, really. And there's even some other things too that I didn't touch on, but maybe we can catch that at ISTE.
Yeah. And if we get the opportunity, it'll either be in this episode or we'll have it in a different episode that's just for ISTE. So I hope I'm not over promising right now, but we'll capture it. However, you want to share your screen and walk us through, show us the plans, and you can just go straight in. Show us how you set it up, and then if you want to get into kind of teaching through it, we'll help you with that too.
So I'm going to start actually with showing you how to create a new assignment, and then I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to show you some examples of things that I've made that are not, not the best, but that's not the point, right? Perfection is not the point here. Okay, you can import from Google Drive. So you can even import a set of Google Slides, and those will be your slides. And it sets it up very nicely. You can import a Google Doc, and anything from your Google Drive. You can browse the assignment library, and I'm going to come back to that. Create a file from a PDF or even a PNG or JPEG. I love this feature. I talked to some other Classkick coaches, and we like to say that creating an assignment on Classkick is easier than waiting in line for the printer, or the copier.
It's a low bar. I don't know.
It's a low bar.
So sometimes, like, you don't have yourself together. If you're like me, kind of last minute, you're like, shoot, I didn't make 17 copies or however many I need. So you can literally throw a PDF in there and have the kids draw on it or type in it. So just side note there. Here's the AI Create. And if you have an account right now, not everyone has access to this. This is a beta. Actually, if you want, you can preview, you can sign up to receive the beta if you already have a Classkick account, or if you make one now and you want to kind of play around with it, you can play around with the beta feature. I can maybe give you guys the link to put in the show notes.
All right, look for it, y'all. She promised it.
Yeah, it's a Google form, and you fill it out and they'll give you access. Or you can just create from a blank assignment, and that's just I'll do that one. It's kind of overwhelming at first. You're like, oh shoot, a blank canvas. What am I going to do? So you may want to start with something like a PDF just to kind of get your feel. The toolbar is right up here. It's super simple. Once you play around with it, you have your pen tool, your highlighter tool. You can insert an image. You can insert a link to a YouTube video. There's all kinds of stuff. Manipulatives where they can drag and drop things. So I could probably spend a whole episode with y'all just using the tools, but we won't go there. Let's go back to, give me a second. Let's go back again. Here we go. Create new. I want to show you our assignment library. A lot of the coaches and staff have been working on this. I'm going to probably show something for middle school and high school, since a lot of my examples that I made are elementary. So let's see. I don't know. What do you guys teach again?
Math.
Math.
Social
What grade?
studies, religion. Do math. Math is good.
We'll go 6 to 8. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm feeling.
By the way, how do these get in here? Is it only like coaches and Classkick?
Great question. So before the coaching program started, I remember seeing a link to say, hey, if you want to submit your assignment to share with the Classkick world, you can. And then they developed this coaching program, and they have a team that goes in and kind of edits it a little bit and makes it, I guess, Classkick approved, and it gets posted. So
it's curated, which is great. I love that.
I believe all of these have been vetted through Let's go here. The scatter plots. I don't know a lot about this. Don't teach this in first grade, but let's look at it. So it says scatter plot correlation. Watch the video at the right, then answer the questions below. Another awesome thing here is if you have a video, it plays right inside the tab. You don't have to open up a new tab, which kids don't get distracted. Now, I don't know if you can hear that. They still can go to YouTube and go into a different tab. They totally can if that's what you want them to do. I've actually trained my first graders. Oh, it's going again. I'm going to close that out. I've trained my first graders. If I put a timer in there, they can upload it or they can move it to the new tab. And a lot of times I want them to independently read for 10 minutes. And I have a beach background music and they can play that. And then it's set for 10 minutes. They read that amount of time and they're done. You can use timers for all sorts.
So they're reading on like a physical book. They were reading on a physical book, but this just gives them easy access to a timer.
Yes. Which, in the primary age, we need to be using physical books and we need to be writing. And I actually integrate Classkick a lot with writing. And I can show you more about that in a little bit. Let's go to another slide just to see. So this is an example of multiple choice. Students would click the correct answer. And I'm just previewing the assignment, so I can't click on it right now. But it would tell them if you can have it set up to show them the correct answers, like if you're just wanting them to kind of learn at their own pace, or you can set it to where they don't see if they're right or wrong. So if you think they're just going to click to the right.
I see the clear opportunity for formative assessment where you are assessing them along the way while they're doing the learning. And is this a tool also that, and maybe it would be more effective in lower grades, but as they get to middle school or so, that you would feel comfortable using for summative assessments where it's the final assessment?
Yes, for sure. And I've seen some examples of that, but I think that you can use it both ways and set it up for either way. When you are auto-grading an assignment, if it's multiple choice or a short answer, fill in the blank, you can actually upload your results or whatever into a Google Sheet. And then you can kind of examine all of the data inside a Google Sheet, which is super helpful.
So it's easy to get the data out. That's a big part of doing a summative assessment or any assessment.
Exactly. And you can even share this with the co-teacher. So they've come out with co-teacher feature, which I love. If you're working with a grade level, they have access to that data as well. You can even share it amongst your school. If you have a pro school account with Classkick, you can share all of your assignments amongst your whole school, which is pretty awesome.
So I do see too, you have, obviously there's a free tier, and we'll talk about that maybe a little bit more in a minute, but when you bump it up, you have 100 grades synced as an option. So clearly there's a syncing gradebook option. What can you tell us about that? Because you're talking about exporting grades to a Google Sheet, but it looks like there's even better functionality than that.
Yes, you can sync this up with Google Classroom or Clever, ClassLink, whatever you're using for that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something that I have not really done with my school. I just I hook it up to Google Classroom sometimes, but I use the auto grade feature a lot with first grade, but I definitely feel that is a little bit more beneficial in the upper grades with grading and sort of things. It's different. Cool. Well, how about we look at a sample assignment that I have done. I know it's for the littles, but I think that it'll still show you some of the features.
Oh man, if I get something wrong, that's embarrassing. Okay, I'll try.
Are we going to get a play along on this one? Is this where Desmond and I get to be students?
That's right. You guys are going to be students. I'm going to go back to my assignment here. I want you guys to go to the link. I think I sent you the link. And just type in your first name.
I'll try to not embarrass both of us because,
Well, my wife teaches first grade, and
you get an advantage.
I need to represent her well. Spelling. No, I'm kidding. I love spelling.
Okay, I'm going to go to the View Work tab here. So I can see that you guys are both on slide 1. So you don't just play around. If you want, you can scoot ahead, skip a few slides. You don't have to do the whole thing. Maybe do one. Type in one word on there so that we can see kind of what happens on that first slide, and then you can, so what I'm seeing is the View Work tab, and I'm seeing students that are online. So if I can go ahead and set up my my roster, and I might see all my students on here, their names, but if they're not logged in, they're not going to have this little green dot. So I can click on your slide and kind of see where you're at. And if one of you wants to kind of type in the box, oh, there it is. I'm on Aaron right now. I can go to different kiddos, going to Desmond. He's typing it in. Oh, I don't think I set up the auto grade for that. Wow. Great, Savannah. Way to have a good example of an auto grade setup. I think this one is. So there's a little check here. Shows he got it right. Let's see.
I misunderstood the first one.
You don't have to. Some of these are listen. Maybe not the greatest examples that I have here.
I thought I was spelling the end of the word in my defense, and I'm spelling a different word than the end of the word. I'm fixing it now. All right, there we go.
I'm gonna grab one more thing here. Let's see.
So right now, are you like adding to this lesson that we're already on?
I can. I can totally do that, and it updates it in real time, which from someone who makes a lot of mistakes and has to fix it. Yes, I can go in and change anything, and it's going to change on your screen. Let's do that.
I like that as well, because you say you make mistakes, but you're a perfect teacher. But sometimes there's something that dynamically happens in class, and you realize that the students missed something that you need to go back and review, or there is something that is just serendipitous that really needs to fit into this lesson, and you can go and do that dynamically. So I like that ability.
And so I'm going to do that right now. Actually, I'm like, oh my goodness, I should just do it. So I realized I didn't set up auto grading. And so this kind of shows you how easy. When it comes to drawing on the screen, it's not going to do it. But if you are writing or typing or multiple choice, it will. So I'm going to fix that real quick. This is a pin. So I can go over here and add acceptable answer and type in pin. And I can give it points. So if I want a point system of 5 points per question or 1 point, and there we go. I'm going to do it for this one too, just so we can see. All right, now I'm going to go back to my view work tab. And everything updated right away. And now I can see a little green square. This is what I was looking for to show that you have 3 out of 3 right. And it's going to turn red if you're not doing good. So I can be looking at my screen of students and notice that, oh, red, they need some help. So yeah, I fixed it in real time. A lot of teachers also use this as kind of like a Google slide, and we work through together. Like I might teach together. You can like put a big, what I like to do, I've done this a couple times, is put a big picture on the screen, like a caution sign or traffic cone, like hold up, and they can't work ahead. They have to wait until I move, just delete that picture on my edit screen, and then we can work on that slide together.
I was just going to ask you about that, like the pacing element. So is that just a visual stop, or is it they cannot pass that? You control the pacing fully.
Yeah, so you can actually, let's go to oh wait, I clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on a minute. You can student preview. You can have a preview of your work and do it yourself just to see if there's anything. If you go to filters, you can lock the assignment, or you can also lock just the slide itself so that students can't work ahead. So there's so many things you can do to play around with.
I see Desmond's work coming in live right there. He's working on a picture.
I was trying to figure out what happens when you have a disruptive
really
student.
good work there. I love it.
You're totally fine. And you guys don't have to fill out the whole assignment if you want to like look at some other ones. You can hide student names, and it gives you a fun, I don't know what is that called? Like when the daring dolphin, persistent panda.
Oh yeah, the name generator.
Alliteration,
that's
whatever.
cool.
And, okay, so yeah, I can hide students that are offline, which I can't really show you. But let's say I have students in my roster and they're not there. Like I don't want them to be in the way. You can shrink the thumbnails. And so now if whatever's auto graded, or if they need to use a certain tool, like it's going to show me here if they've used it or not. It also is going to show me, hey, 50% for this slide. So the data that I'm getting is like 50% correct. Okay, let's see. I can also look at one slide in particular. So I can see just this slide and what they have completed. I love this too, because it's easy to, I have self-diagnosed ADHD, and so I love being able to just focus on one slide. And this is great if you're self-paced too, and you can even feature a student, like let's say, or not self-paced, but as a working as a whole class. So let's say you're using your version on the screen and kids are working together, but maybe so-and-so, maybe Desmond has a really awesome thing we should share with the whole class. I can pull this up on my screen and say, hey, look, I love how Desmond has spelled the word hen. Maybe we should help him with pen. What can we help him do?
I misspelled that on purpose so
Yes,
that
I
I can see
figured.
what it
We haven't made it this far in life, right? So yeah, I just love that view. You can kind of see all of them or just pick one. Okay, if you are wanting to show students their grade, like on their side or not, you can say show students their points. If you turn this on, then you guys on your side can see. Which, okay, benefits and not benefits of this. When I'm doing an assignment that I just want students to work on and like maybe something simple that I want them to kind of see, oh, am I right or am I wrong? Like a simple thing like that, then I'll turn it on. Sometimes I will wait and turn it on until after they finish an assessment. For example, there's a curriculum called CKLA, and the assessment for, I think, K2, it's literally I say a statement, and then they are basically saying yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down, or it's a smiley face or a frowny face. And so on that, I will have it set up where they can mark their answer, but they can't tell if they're right or wrong. But at the end, I go and I click show their points, and they immediately see their grade. Now, this is not like a good real-time example. This is kind of your final grade here. So like, let's say I get that data, and they can immediately see how they did. I will say if you're going to use that assignment again, make sure you get rid of that. So if you're like, there was a student that was absent, and I want them to go back and finish it, go to your filters tab, get rid of show their points, and that way they can reuse it. If this assignment is shared with a co-teacher, it's kind of the same thing. Make sure that they're not in the middle of the assignment when you show your students the points. Okay. Any questions while I'm here?
No, I love that you can update as the students are in the presentation. It's definitely very dynamic in that regard. I think it's super helpful to, have that core functionality built in.
I've even been in the middle and realized they got nothing from what I taught them. I'm like, let's start again. And I'll just throw a blank slide in there, and I might say, draw a number bond, and let's do this together. So they can do their own thing. You can use Classkick, by the way, on an iPad or Chromebook, either way.
In Windows, I'm assuming. Windows, and of course, we're using it on a Mac right here. I guess you use it in the browser.
Yes, the browser. Yeah, sorry. I guess I should say browser or on an iPad as an app. You can even use it on your phone. It's a little bit harder, of course, to see everything, but yep. The touchscreen device is great, but there are students who learn really well, much better than me, with the mouse to draw on it. So,
are you able to control, like, as a teacher, to not allow them to put pictures in or remove the tools they have access to?
Good question. Okay, they cannot remove anything on the screen. Now, if it's a drag and drop manipulative, so let's go into this one, the coin one. If they could potentially drag and drop one of the manipulatives off the screen, but if they hit undo, they can get it back. The first question, I cannot, that I know of, turn off the camera feature. No, the students cannot video. I know that, but I cannot control that, unfortunately. I don't think so. Maybe I'll check on that. If so, I'll let you know.
I was just curious. Yeah, and I teach teenagers, so I'm always aware of those pitfalls.
Yes, so true. I want to show you real quick how I can give you feedback on this one. I'm not quite sure why it's not showing any numbers here. Maybe I blocked that off. Let's see. Let's go to... Let's say that we've got these wrong. Let's just pretend that these are not correct and are money matching. I can either type something out to help you, and I would always kind of put mine in like a certain color. That way, like, students know if it's highlighted in yellow or pink, whatever you want to choose, that's coming from you. So I might say, hey, you don't have to say hey. That's just me. Even when I talk to AI, I'm like, hi. I'm like asking for AI to make something from like, hey, I need, how you doing? Like, anyways, she could say, hey, try, I think you mixed up the penny and the dime, which is pretend. So that's something. I can also record it. And I don't know if this is going to work the way we're like doing this call, but let's just try. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Microphone. I'm just going to try it. Hey, try again. I think you might have mixed up the penny and the dime. Let's see if it worked. Hey, try again. I think you might have mixed up the penny and the dime. Did you hear that?
I
That's
did.
cool.
I
Yeah,
did.
we did.
So easy. It's so easy to just throw it in. I can even throw in a sticker. I can make a GIF. I actually made this one. I don't know if...
Oh, no. I see what it is. Oh, no.
It only comes up on Desmond's screen, I think.
I don't see it. What are you doing?
Did you see
I'm
it?
looking at your screen. No.
Or maybe I need to drag it.
While you do that, I wanted to say I like how you can do audio and visual and text. As we did an episode a while ago about universal design for learning, and I like how this is built in. They're able to use multimodals as a teacher and as a student to be able to do that. And I think about giving feedback. If I have a quiet room and a place where I can record, doing a quick feedback like that feels way easier for me than having to type it out. But sometimes I might want to type it out. And so I like that you have the ability to do that. That's good.
I'm not sure why it's not coming on the screen.
All good.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you build this presentation, or was this a presentation that you grabbed and kind of customized or just used?
Yeah, I just grabbed some slides from certain assignments. I just threw a bunch in there so you could see. And I actually do want to highlight this one right here. This looks like nothing. This is what got me hooked on Classkick. Okay, so this is a spelling test, and you could do this multiple ways. You could have it where they type it in, but I need my students to work on their handwriting. So what I do is record them all, and they have a piece of paper. I think I usually do 2 or 3 handwritten spelling tests where I do it with them so they know where to write and that kind of thing. But they will write it on paper, their answers to it, but I've recorded myself so they can listen to it 5 times if they need to. And I have some kids that they hear the word, they don't even listen to the sentence that goes with the word, and they're done in 5 minutes. And I have other kids that take 35 minutes to finish the whole test. This is my favorite thing. And I mean, there's so many good things about Classkick, but this saved my sanity. I'd be like on number 10 and kids like, what's number 3? I'm like, what?
Yes. Or I've seen the teachers like pull a kid into the hall to, do stuff like this. And, I think of like, we don't, a Spanish test. So like all the time our Spanish teacher is doing similar stuff to this for her vocab. And I think this would be a really good use of it. All right, Adriana, I'm tagging you in this. You're going to see it.
And I'm going to be sharing that one with my wife for sure, as I hear the stories as the first grade teacher.
Another great option for the primary and anything really. I've seen great drag and drop options with like science, like labeling things. You can even use the line tool. So actually I have an example. I'm going to pull up student preview so I can do some work on this real quick. All right, so I don't know what the word is here. I'm not going to take the time to listen to the recording, but let's say it's 10. So they can drag these letters, and they're going to build the word that way. It's 10. I've recorded it. So word builders was something that my curriculum did, and we did this every Wednesday. So Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was. Every day they did the same assignment. So it took away any of the, how do I do this? Like they knew what was coming and what to expect. So I had all of my reading phonics curriculum. It all kind of looked the same layout. So it took away that aspect of it, but they were doing their words for that week or that skill. Another example, let's see.
This also seems like it'd be really good for substitute teaching. You have you build this whole thing out, and because there's always a lot of things that I want to just be able to say, because translating through the sub doesn't always work real well, and so I like this way to be able to hook it up for them. Connect.
One other thing that I want to kind of highlight is you can insert recordings that you downloaded on your computer. So this is an example of a poem, and I actually found this poem online that is read by the author. And so
Joe, the emoji. I'm Joe, the emoji.
All right, we won't play the whole thing, but that's the author's voice, which I think is really neat. So up at the audio tool, you can select a file from your computer. So if you downloaded it, or if you have, if you want to pull audio from a YouTube video, and they can be listening to that while they work. So if you upload a video into Classkick, you can't really like scroll down and work unless they open it into a new tab. But when a voice recording is going, they can still do work on the screen, which I think is really, really good to know.
You know, and so I can see the applications there. Are there like grade ranges this works best for? Do you guys have areas that you're leaning more into to build out? You know, who is this product right for?
Okay. As a EdTech lover myself, I immediately think all grades. But in all honesty, a lot of the primary teachers don't want to dive into this. They would like to do hands-on stuff, and that's okay. I actually think Classkick is more geared to the upper grades. You can do both. And I'm like, I hesitate saying this because this is the tool I use every day in my classroom. Like, if I'm going to buy one thing, it's going to be Classkick. And, of course, Canva. But anyways. But Classkick is going to be like I need it, you know. And I always tell my principal, like, we're doing the budget, I'm like, I need Classkick, okay? And so yeah, I when it comes to feedback and the real time thinking, it's great for the elementary too, but you are so needed in a classroom that I don't feel like I was able to utilize the feedback as much as I could. When you're in middle school and high school, they can work independently a lot better. Yeah, they can work independently a whole lot better, and you're able to really dive into good feedback and kind of see what students are doing as a whole. That's tough in the younger grades.
Well, and it's a great point because I would have thought you'd said the other way around, you know, best suited for elementary up through junior high. But when you frame it that way, I think I can totally get it. But, you know, the feature you built there for the self-paced spelling test, wow, that alone is like, all right, elementary teachers, this is pretty cool.
But that gets used. Neither of us teach English, but you know, English teachers still do vocabulary. Spanish language teachers still do vocabulary, and you know, especially Spanish, the listening aspect of it, you know, where you listen to it and then you have to write it down, is a big part of those classes. So I see that very valuable for them.
I noticed that at ISTE last year that a lot of people that were using Classkick are already using it was a lot of math teachers, and then the languages, foreign languages. I feel like that, just my observation of people that I'm talking to, it was like, foreign language. Oh yeah, we use Classkick. Like, so that was kind of neat. You know, one other awesome thing for all grade levels is the co-teaching aspect. So like I could have a special ed teacher connected to my assignment who could be in their office, maybe working with other kids or their classroom, or they could be looking at two of my kids at the same time and helping them and giving feedback, and as well as multilingual learners. Like you could have in high school, like you could have whatever resource teacher could also be on this Classkick assignment, helping them and giving them feedback. Maybe whereas I'm working with a small group, or my assistant is giving feedback.
You might have highlighted this, but if you did, I missed it. So is this all synchronous learning, or can it be asynchronous, like assigned for homework?
Either one. Yeah, either one. If they can work on it at home, or we can do it together. Either way.
Well, Savannah, this has been really awesome, and I'm thinking of ways that I can integrate it into my class. This is really good, and we are hoping to see you next week at ISTE. This episode likely will come out after ISTE, so it's not a very good advertisement for ISTE. But we're looking forward to seeing you very soon. But can you remind everyone what's the best way to follow you and see what you're doing, see what's up with Classkick?
Yes, we actually have a Classkick community Facebook group that you're welcome to join. If you would like to learn more things about Classkick, I'm one of the admins in that, and I post all kinds of tips and tricks and ideas. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, I haven't done a whole lot, but it's at Savvy EdTech Mamas. My podcast is called Mamas in EdTech. And it, just to note, it says mamas. Guys are welcome to join too, but my overall focus is...
I thought I wasn't welcome when I saw the title.
Yeah,
so thank you.
My overall focus is Christian mamas in EdTech, and this is like moms that are working at their church doing Bible school stuff or children's church or even homeschool mamas. And I really think there's a way to use technology for all ages. I'm not saying that you need to buy a device for all your kids, not at all, but kids like technology and it really helps with engagement. And so I want to feature some things that you can do maybe at home as a homeschool mom or in the classroom. So some days it might be geared more towards the other. And also just mom things in general. I remember having my son and just kind of being like lost in who I was, kind of like in this postpartum cloud. And I'm like, I'm trying to learn all these mom things. I'm also trying to teach 20 kids and do a really good job, but also I want to be a mom and a wife and clean my house. And so I want to share like little tips that I found on that. And I've only done like 6 episodes, but I'm hoping this will kickstart me to get some more done.
More are coming. We hear it
Yes,
promised.
more are coming.
That's incredible. I'm looking forward to listening to him now. Now that I know I'm allowed to.
Yeah, you're
allowed. Because I struggle as it's different, as being a father, but I, especially in the summer, I'm feeling all that tension of like the work I want to do in the summer, but my kids are off of school and I'm a teacher. That's a privilege I have to spend time with them, and that like guilt and all of that struggle back and forth. So
it is tough.
I understand that.
If you want to dabble in Classkick this summer, you could have your kids do some stuff. I've even had my toddler like do some drag and drop.
I was thinking about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think my 8-year-old would really like it. So I can put some fun projects together for him. Well, thank you. Today we were privileged to have Savannah on our episode and for her to share her knowledge and energy and passion about Classkick and life. And so we covered about how we need to visualize thinking. And I think that's, even if you don't get to use Classkick itself, really think about how you can help your students visualize their thinking in all sorts of ways. And I would encourage you, if you do get to use Classkick, to also still pull out the paper, the marker boards, the other visualized thinking, and have them do it tangibly and digitally, and use a variety of tools to accomplish that. And so we had a good time learning about all those features and being students in Savannah's class for a little bit this morning.
And hey, if you enjoyed this content, well, why not subscribe so you don't miss an episode? We'd love to connect with you, and there's a lot of great ways to do that. You can do that through our website, edtechunpack.com. Drop an audio comment, question, and we may just play it on the air, but all over social media, so connect with us wherever you're at.
And we just always want to leave you with a blessing. And what a blessing it has been to talk to Savannah today and to hear about how she has blessed her students in her church and her kids. And we know that technology can be overwhelming, but how cool it is when you find a tool that can really allow you as a teacher to be more engaged with your students. Never let the technology get in the way of you and your students, but use it as a way to facilitate relationships. If it's getting in the way, stop using it, cut it out. Your students are more important than any technology you could ever use. And remember, there is no substitute for great teaching. It is not just about the tools and technology you use, but how you foster meaningful relationships with your students to transform their lives. Be blessed.